My name is Sienna Enright, and I'm 30 years old. Right now, I'm standing in the kitchen of the restaurant I built from nothing, hands shaking, apron still tied around my waist, while my father blocks the doorway like I don't belong here. "Stay in the kitchen," he said. Not quietly, not kindly, like I was staff, like I was replaceable, like the last 14 months of my life meant absolutely nothing. And then, my sister walked past me, smiling, confident, perfectly dressed, in the outfit I picked out for tonight. She didn't even look at me, because why would she? Tonight, she gets to be me. Out there in the dining room, laughing with the investor who flew in specifically to meet me, to hear my pitch, to fund my vision. And I'm back here, next to the dish sink, pretending I don't exist. Funny thing is, this isn't the first time my family has erased me. No, they've been practicing this my entire life. When I graduated top of my class, my sister worked harder. When I landed my first investor meeting, my dad said, "Don't mess it up like you always do." When I spent nights sleeping on this restaurant floor, eating instant noodles, calculating costs down to the last cent, they called it a phase. But tonight was supposed to be different, because tonight was proof. Proof that I wasn't the invisible daughter. Proof that I didn't need their approval. Proof that I could build something real, something worth $5 million. And yet, here I am, hidden, silenced, replaced. I can hear them out there now, glasses clinking, my sister's laugh, too loud, too rehearsed. My father's voice, bragging like he built this place with his own hands. And the investor? He's listening, watching, judging. But not in the way they think, because here's what my family doesn't know. The VIP investor sitting at that table? He already met me 2 weeks ago, in a quiet office, far away from their control, where I walked in without makeup, without their approval, without pretending to be anyone else. And he listened, really listened. He asked questions my family never cared to ask. He saw the numbers, the strategy, the sacrifice. And when I stood up to leave, he said something I'll never forget. "I was wondering when you'd stop letting them take credit for your brilliance." So tonight, this isn't their moment, it's mine. I look down at my hands, flour still dusted across my fingers, tiny burns from weeks of testing recipes, scars they never noticed. I untie the apron, slowly, carefully, and for the first time in a long time, I feel calm, because in exactly 10 minutes, everything they built their lies on is going to collapse. I won't walk into that dining room. I won't fight for attention. I won't beg to be seen. No, I'm going to disappear. I'll walk out the back door, get in my car, and drive away without saying a word. And when I'm gone, that's when it happens. The moment my father proudly raises his glass, the moment my sister leans in for the deal, the moment they think they've won, the investor will stand up, look them dead in the eye, and ask one simple question: "Where is Sienna?" And when they lie, because they will, he'll already know, because he's seen the emails, the drafts, the financial projections, all signed with my name, not theirs, not hers, mine. And then, right there in the middle of the dining room, in front of everyone, he'll take that $5 million check, the one they think belongs to them, and tear it into pieces, slowly, deliberately, so they can feel it, so they can understand what it feels like to have something taken away, just like they took everything from me. And as for me, I won't look back. Because tonight isn't about revenge, it's about truth. And the truth is, they never lost me. They just never realized I was the only reason they had anything at all. I didn't slam the door when I left. I didn't cry. I didn't hesitate. The back exit clicked shut behind me like a quiet ending. Or maybe a beginning. The cold air hit my face, and for the first time in months, I could breathe. No voices, no expectations, no one telling me to shrink. I walked to my car slowly, like every step mattered. Because it did. Every step was me choosing myself, for once. I sat in the driver's seat, hands resting on the wheel, staring straight ahead. And then my phone buzzed. Once. A message. From him. Are you ready? I smiled. Not a happy smile, not a relieved one. No, this was different. This was the kind of smile you earn, after being underestimated for far too long. I typed back 3 words. Do it now. And just like that, it began. Inside that restaurant, my family was celebrating early. I can picture it perfectly. My father standing at the head of the table, chest puffed out, already spending money that wasn't his. My sister leaning forward, playing the role she was handed like she'd rehearsed it her whole life, laughing at jokes that weren't funny, touching the investor's arm like charm could replace competence. And for a moment, it probably worked. Because people like them, they've always believed confidence is louder than truth. But then, the investor stood up. Not dramatically, not angrily, just calmly. And that's what made it terrifying, because calm doesn't negotiate, calm doesn't beg, calm ends things. Before we go any further, he said, I can imagine the room going quiet, the clinking glasses stopping midair, my father forcing a polite smile. Of course, is everything all right? And then came the question, the one question they weren't prepared for. Where is Sienna? Silence. A pause just long enough to expose them. My sister probably blinked first, searching for an answer. My father? Oh, I know him. He recovered fast. Too fast. She's part of the kitchen team, he'd say with a chuckle. This project is more of a family effort. A lie. Clean, polished, familiar. But not good enough. Because the investor didn't sit back down, didn't smile, didn't play along. Instead, he reached into his folder, and that's when everything started to crack. These projections, he said, holding up the documents, the cost breakdown, supplier negotiations, launch strategy. A pause, a shift in tone. Do you want to explain why every single one of these is authored by Sienna Enright? And just like that, the air changed. Because lies, they don't survive evidence. I can feel it even from out here. The way my father's confidence would falter. The way my sister's smile would stiffen. The way the room would slowly turn against them. And then, the final move. The check. $5 million. Placed gently on the table. So close they could almost touch it. So close they could taste it. And then, rip. Once, twice, again. Each tear louder than the last. Not just paper, but pride, reputation, control, gone. I don't invest in fraud, he said. Calm, final, unshakable. And then he walked out, just like I did. My phone rang before I even started the engine. I didn't need to check who it was. I already knew. I let it ring. Once, twice, 3 times. Then voicemail. Then again, and again. Desperation has a sound, and it sounds exactly like the people who ignored you, suddenly needing you. I finally picked up on the 5th call. I didn't say hello. I didn't need to. Sienna, my father's voice cracked. What did you do? What did I do? For a second, I almost laughed. Because that's the thing about people like him. They think accountability is an attack. I told the truth, I said quietly. You ruined everything, he snapped. No, I didn't. I just stopped letting them pretend it was theirs. In the background, I could hear my sister, panicking, blaming, crumbling. For once, she didn't sound perfect. She sounded real. And real doesn't win without effort. You need to come back, my father said, his voice dropping into something colder. Fix this. Fix this. Like I always did. Like I was supposed to. Like I still belonged to them. I looked at my reflection in the rearview mirror. For so long, I didn't recognize that girl. Tired, small, invisible. But not anymore. Go back inside, I told him. Look around that restaurant. A pause. Confusion. Everything you see? Another pause. It exists because of me. Silence. Heavy. Unavoidable. And tonight, I continued, starting the engine, you finally get to experience what it's like when I'm not there to hold it together. I hung up. No goodbye, no apology, no hesitation. Because some endings don't need closure, they need distance. I pulled out of the parking lot, headlights cutting through the dark, and as the restaurant disappeared in my rearview mirror, so did the version of me that stayed quiet, the version that waited to be chosen, the version that believed family meant loyalty, no matter the cost. Because now I understood something they never will. Being underestimated is the most dangerous advantage you can give someone like me. I didn't go home that night. I didn't slow down. I just drove. Streetlights blurred past me, one after another, like the life I was finally leaving behind. And for the first time in years, there was no noise in my head. No doubt, no guilt, just clarity. By morning, everything had changed. Not slowly, not quietly. No, it hit them all at once. Because the investor didn't just walk away. He talked. And people like him, they don't whisper. They make calls. And by 9 a.m., the story had already started spreading. Not the version my family would have told, but the truth. That the family-owned restaurant wasn't built by a united team. It was built by a daughter they buried in the background. A daughter they tried to erase. A daughter who finally walked away. My phone kept lighting up. Unknown numbers, emails, messages, opportunities. Because when the truth comes out, the right people start paying attention. And this time, they weren't calling my father. They weren't asking for my sister. They were asking for me. Sienna Enright. Not the girl in the kitchen, not the invisible one. The creator, the strategist, the one they should have respected from the start. By noon, I was sitting in a quiet office again. But this time, I wasn't nervous. I wasn't trying to prove myself. Because I already had. Across from me sat two new investors. Not impressed by charm, not distracted by fake confidence. They had one rule. Full control stays with you. No family interference, no shared ownership, no rewriting my story. Just me. For the first time, something was actually mine. I signed the papers without shaking, because this wasn't revenge anymore. This was independence. And my family? Oh, they tried. Calls turned into messages. Messages turned into apologies. Apologies turned into blame. The cycle I knew too well. My father left a voicemail that night. I did what I thought was best for the family. No, he did what was easiest for himself. My sister sent a text. I didn't know it would go this far. But she knew enough to take my place, to wear my work like it was hers. And that's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't start big. It starts small, with silence, with entitlement, with thinking someone will always stay quiet. I never replied, not to any of them, because closure isn't something they deserved, and forgiveness doesn't mean access. 3 months later, the restaurant reopened. Same location, same foundation, but this time, a different name. My name. Clean, simple, impossible to ignore. Opening night was full, not because of hype, not because of lies, but because people wanted to see what I could do when no one was holding me back. And I didn't stand in the kitchen. I didn't hide behind a door. I stood right at the center of it all, greeting guests, owning every second. Because this time, there was no one left to replace me. And then, right in the middle of the night, I saw them. My father, my sister, standing across the street, watching. Not invited, not needed, just watching. For a moment, I thought about going over, saying something, anything. But then I realized they were finally exactly where they put me all those years, on the outside, looking in. So I turned away, walked back inside, and let the door close behind me. Not as an ending, but as a boundary. Because the truth is, they didn't lose everything that night. They just lost me. And that was the most expensive mistake they ever made. My name is Sienna Enright. I was the invisible daughter, the one they hid, the one they underestimated, the one they thought would always stay. But they were wrong, because the moment I walked away was the moment I became unstoppable.